Do you think it takes a long time to introduce a new law? It depends on what is considered long time, If by a year, a year considered to be a long time, then probably it wouldn't take that long, maybe like at least only 2 to 3 months. I remember back when like 3 years ago, I think, in Vietnam, you know, they we implement a new law that will allow police to use like those alcohol checking device, something like that, to to uh, counteract drunk driving. And I remember it didn't take that long for people to adjust to it, and like it's only like 1 or 2 months, I think, before people start to get used to that new policy. And by the way, they will get a heavier punishment from drunk driving. So I wouldn't consider most of the new law to be, you know, to take a long time to be introduced, because it's about law, and it's most and the punishment can be very consequential. So naturally, people will find ways to adjust to it as soon as possible. So it wouldn't take that long. Probably like 2 months maximum. Which is better, to make people obey the law, punish them, or encourage them to do so? I think it will have to be a combination of both of these factors, right? Because when you encourage them, like through propaganda, or maybe even having a reward system, uh, there is still room to be exploited, right? And so, what I think is that not only that you give them treat, the government give citizens the treats, right? But also there have to be punishment to act as a deterrent for these, for crimes, for criminals. And without one of these factors, uh, it wouldn't be as effective to me. So I wouldn't say I would say neither of them is better than the other, but they will work. But they will be very effective when the government successfully utilize both of them. Do you think children can learn about the law outside of school? Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially in this modern era where internet accessibility is a common thing. Children, it's very, like, it's very easy for children to study law uh, at home, or maybe what I see is that there are already some like law related club on the internet that you can enter to learn about law. So yeah, definitely. How can parents teach children to obey rules? Again, as I mentioned above, it will have to be a combination of both punishment and reward, right? So, just like doing anything in life, really, when your children do something good, you give them a reward, maybe like a candy or a toy, stuff like that. You get my idea. And when they misbehave, right? When they break the rules, then the punishment come in to help them remind, to keep, to remind them that the actions, right, are not okay, and they have to fix it. They have to, fix the bad habits. Maybe like a slap in the butt, or um, make or uh, make them pay for their mistakes, like breaking the glass, right? So they will have to do chores, selling things to make money to buy new glasses, things like that. So yeah, that's how I think all parents should uh, teach their children to follow the rules. Describe an important plant that grows in your country. I would like to talk about the lotus plant as a whole, not just the flower, but the whole plant. So lotus is the national flower of Vietnam, and I sort of get the idea. It's represent rebirth, and it's represent the beauty in the midst of bad things, of mud. Because that is their attribute. They are incredibly beautiful, but usually you can only find them in mud or like very, kind of like dirty lake. So it's not a pretty environment, but they are the things that stand out, right? And the things that I, in my opinion, the things that makes the lotus plant so special is not just in they are not just special because of their meaning or their beauty, but also because of how flexible they are. Lotus, the seed, the seed alone, you can use them for medicine, for like for food, like in a stew, in a porridge, in a soup, or maybe you can use them as a topping for your drinks. So even just as a seed can be very, uh, it can do multiple tasks. The same thing can be said for the roots, right? You can also use the roots as a medicine. They have, to my knowledge, have some antibiotic properties, something similar. Uh, Not only that, but because of the sort of crunchy and crunchy and kind of sweet texture, they are a fantastic alternative for vegans. Like like producing artificial meats. From plants. Yeah, and the stems can also be used to make fabric. In fact, recently, I think it's like from 2020, Vietnam start to produce like lotus fabric. I really don't know how we would call that, but basically, they kind of like, oh my, yeah, lotus silk, I think. Yeah, they are as smooth as velvet, but also very durable like wool. So they are a fantastic material to use for high end uh, piece of clothing. So yeah, like I say, they are incredibly flexible in their usage, and also they are the symbol of uh, relentless. struggle. They are a symbol of finding the good things uh, in a bad situation, sort of like that. So yeah, that's one of the most important plan in my country. What are the features of living in the countryside? I say that's a lot of things, right? So I will start with the environment, because what I see is that the countryside, unlike like in the heart of the cities, there isn't much cars or motorcycle or scooters for that matter. So they are almost carbon free. They didn't produce much carbon footprint. That's what I'm trying to say. So generally the air is a lot fresher because there are also a lot more trees, and because of that, it's better for people who have lungs problem. Who have trouble with inhaling like the city's contaminated airs, and also better for your faces. Uh, it's from experience. I visit uh, some countrysides, and what I see is that most of my acne disappeared. So that is one of the main feature I would say when you're living in the countryside. Additionally, they are also a lot more. They are more spacious when compared to the cities. So you have a lot more uh, ground to roam around and just enjoy the beauty of nature, things like that. Should schools teach children how to grow plants? I mean, definitely. The thing that makes me upset about most, like eco-friendly plans, uh, like the government's eco-friendly plans, is that they always try for like big, huge things like you know, um, reduce deforestation and plant trees around. They always strive for big things, but they overlook the simple things. Simple things that can change a lot is and especially the younger generation, right? If only every school can teach children how to grow some plants, that will create a new generation who care for the nature and who know how to rebuild, how to help Mother Nature to regenerate. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, that's my thought. Even if it's just like very basic plant like a sugar cane, or maybe avocado is also something that I see a lot of school in other countries teach. So, uh, yeah, I think that having this kind of things as a side subject will greatly benefits not just the country, but also the future of the world. Uh, why do some people like to keep plants at home? Honestly, I think there are two main reasons. First of all, is that some people really like to save money. Uh, so they plan some like spice plan at home. You know, like for example, like lemon, pepper, rosemary. Like to cutting costs. Because you don't need extra money to buy those kind of product, and it's just easier and feels safer for a lot of people to eat what they plan rather than buying from the supermarket. Reason number two is just for like a ast- aesthetic aesthetic reason. Uh, in fact, planting trees has been proven to improve mental health and reduce some and help to treat some mental disease like depression. No, not like mental problems. That's what I'm trying to say, like depression, right, or even bipolar, to some extent. So like just planting some vine and trees can help people to like they gain a sense of attaching to nature, and also kind of like receiving a some dose of happiness when they look at the plant, things like that. So it's like the aesthetic, and sometimes also for act they can act as a medical treatment at the same time. So yeah.